Hey everyone, hope you're all doing well. In this video I want to go over some features that I'd really like to see in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, things that I think would enhance the gameplay and give us that Assassin's vibe that I think's been missing since Odyssey. If you enjoy the content, please don't forget to like and subscribe, but also let me know how I can improve or tell me if there's things you want me to cover in the comments below. Let's get started. So this first request isn't actually a feature, but rather a classic legacy outfit that I know is very popular with fans of the series. Ever since Valhalla was announced and we saw Eivor's default outfit, players have wanted Ezio's classic Revelations robes in the game. They definitely match the tone and aesthetic of the world with the cloak and the fur and leather. We've already had two legacy outfits so far, Bayek's Master Assassin robes from Origins and Altair's classic appearance from the first game, both of which do look amazing. Ubisoft has a bit of a habit of adding the Brotherhood robes as a legacy option, and while I'm definitely not against it, I really feel like it's time for something different and something that suits Eivor's fashion sense. So what you can see on screen now is a photo edit I've done of Eivor in the Altair outfit, and also a change to the UI of the command wheel. Now you'll notice when playing the game that you actually have two options to summon your horse. You can use the D-pad by holding the left arrow, and you can also use the command wheel. Now this strikes me as a bit weird, because why would you need two different options to do the same action? Now it also kind of annoys me that in the game there's no option to play with your hood up other than to equip the cloak. While I understand that you equip the cloak to hide your weapons and blend into the crowd, sometimes I just want to look like an assassin regardless of whether I'm trying to hide or not. I want to have my hood up in combat, I want to have my weapons on display with my hood up as well. One thing that really irks me, especially with the legacy outfits, is that if you equip the cloak to put your hood up, all your weapons vanish. And I think that's a shame, because if you look at the screenshots on screen now, it looks really cool having your hood up with all your weapons on your back. So I've just put this edit back on screen to show a potential solution for this problem. Now I would remove the horse calling feature from the command wheel altogether and just have that mapped to the D-pad whistle option. Now what you could do is replace the horse call on the command wheel with a cosmetic toggle just for the hood, and if you use this toggle, Eivor will put their hood up and keep all their weapons on display, and it won't equip the cloak part, it just puts the hood up. As you can see, there is still a toggle for the cloak and the hood as a combination, which hides all your weapons as well. If you equip the hood on its own, all your weapons stay on show. You keep your hood up during combat, and it's just for a visual style that I think would appeal to players who want to look like an assassin all the time. Next, we have an option for a weapon loadout system. Now this was something we sort of had in Origins and Odyssey, where you could equip two separate weapons and switch between them on the fly. Now because in Valhalla you can have two separate weapons in each hand, you'd need to have this reflected in the loadout system. Now if you look closely at the top image, you can see there's two separate loadouts. The one on the left is a two-handed sword used with both hands, because one of the options, as you can see, is unarmed, so you automatically default to using the sword with both hands. The second option is a shield equipped in the left hand and an axe equipped in the right hand. You can also see that I've added a command prompt of holding R2 and pressing L3 to switch between those loadouts whenever you want. Now this is a similar command to one that already exists with an ability in the game, where you hold R2 and press R3 and you can switch the weapons that you're holding in both hands. So if you've got an axe in your right hand and a shield in your left hand, you can swap them over into the opposite hands, because weapons serve a different function depending on which hands you're using. So if I could just draw your attention to the bottom half of this image, you'll notice that it's an edit of Eivor with both of these loadouts equipped. Now, I personally would love it if they added this feature, but also made it so that both loadouts appear on Eivor's character model at the same time. If you've ever modded Skyrim on PC or Xbox, there's a mod called Visible Favorited Gear, which allows you to do something similar to this, where every item that's equipped in your favorites bar you can actually see on your character model, and that is a perfect example of what I'm talking about, to give you that sort of adventurer, you know, multiple equipped weapons look. So if you've played Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, you might remember a really cool feature with your horse, where you could actually drop down to your horse from a high vantage point. It reminded me a lot of that sort of swashbuckler Zorro style, you know, jumping onto your horse from a building, which I think would be really fun to have for like when you're trying to escape guards in a chase. Not a game changer, but just something funny to mess around with. And for the final point in this video, it would be to have co-op return from Assassin's Creed Unity. Now, I've actually done a longer video on this, so I'm not going to go into detail. I'll leave a link to that video in the description below, and I'd recommend checking that out if you want to hear more about my thoughts on that. But just as a very quick breakdown, essentially it would be something similar to Ghost of Tsushima's Legends mode, and it would take advantage of the river raids mechanic that was added a couple of months ago. So that is it for this video, guys. Let me know if there's any features that I've missed that you'd like to see come to the game in the future. And as I said earlier, if you could like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, I'd really appreciate it. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.